Hello everybody,
Hi,
welcome
guys.
to vlog number 16 of the Turtle and the Tiger. It's been, how long has it been since we did a video last? A few weeks.
While.
Yeah,
It's
a few
been
weeks.
At least 2
Yeah.
weeks.
We uploaded all our videos that we had done previously when we were doing our house sit at Albuquerque. So we won't get into the long and the short of it, but I think we did 10 videos and a bunch of blog posts and lots of editing. Got a lot of stuff done. Got the truck oil change and the tires rotated. Went into Albuquerque, got some tire stuff for your bicycle and all kinds of neat stuff. And because of the homeowners getting home late at night at our Albuquerque house sit, we decided we were going to leave at about, when did we leave? 8 p.m.
8 o'clock.
To go to our next destination after our Albuquerque house sit, which was going to be Sumner Lake State Park in New Mexico.
Which was what? About 75 miles away? 80 miles?
Oh no. I think it was longer than that. I can look and put the real mileage down below, but I thought it was farther than that.
Maybe it was.
We had a big debate as to whether or not we were going to just overnight nearby at a Walmart and then take off the next day, but it just wasn't in the cards for me. I voted it down, and since I was driving, my vote, I guess, is the Trump vote.
It is.
So we got to Sumner Lake State Park, very difficult park to navigate into at night. Everything looked like a dirt lot. Lots of spaces were filled. Finally found a space, so instead of backing in like we normally do, we just drove straight into the number 4 spot next to what seemed to be a vehicle or two. We didn't make much. You couldn't make heads or tails of what was going on because it was dark. It was about 11-ish.
Yeah, it was about 11 o'clock. So it was dark. We were tired.
Pretty much all we did was take our shoes off, make our beds, get in bed. Then the next morning, I got up, and where I sleep in the upper bunk, I looked out the window and I saw a giant bass boat right
next door.
Right next to us on the trailer, hitched to a truck. Then there was another trailer next to that, and then a fifth wheel, then the tow vehicle for the fifth wheel, and another bass boat, and another tow vehicle. So it was a crappy state park. And we were going to get water there.
Oh, right. Because we didn't have any water when we left
Right.
New Mexico, and we needed water because we weren't going to another state park
That had
for
water.
another week. So
Right.
we had no water when we left New Mexico.
And the reason we didn't have any water when we left New Mexico is on our way to this house sit, the weather was so cold we had to winterize the trailer and the truck again. So we had zero water on either of them.
And plus, the water in New Mexico really wasn't that good.
I think I sent out a couple of Facebook clips of the water spots all over the truck because we washed the rig, and anywhere there was glass or chrome, there were these heavy mineral deposits that took forever to get out.
It was not good tasting water.
And it was it was just terrible.
So back to
Sumner Lake. Got up the next morning, look out, there's this big boat. The one water spigot that's next to us has got a fish cleaning table next to it with a gut bag hanging off of it. Bloody knives, bloody table. Obviously they cleaned a bunch of fish the day before,
and just
left
left it all there.
Left it there and went to bed or partied or whatever. It was about 1.5 feet away from the water spigot, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not taking a chance. We're out of here. So
Backed out and we were gone.
Before 8:30.
Yeah, I think so.
We're out of the park and on our way to
Muleshoe
National Wildlife Refuge in Muleshoe, Texas. So we're
back in Texas.
Which was okay with us. And when we got to Muleshoe, that was the town of Muleshoe. We stocked up on some provisions.
Yep, got some groceries, got some water because we had no water for the next week. Right?
That was, yes. Well, we didn't, yes, right.
Yeah.
We had to get five or 6 gallon jugs of water.
Yep.
Had to pay for water, but whatever. Because Muleshoe didn't have any potable water. We knew that going in.
Right.
So that was the first united That's the name of it. United Grocery Store that we've ever been to, was it not? In Muleshoe?
Yeah, I think it might have
Because it's the first time I remember when. So we go in and we get groceries and we load up the cart. Nice day there. People are nice again. Like New Mexico. Anyway, so people are nice again. We go in and get our groceries. Got this big cart full of groceries. And as we're checking out at the register, there's a girl there, and she's bagging her groceries, no big deal, and she's putting the groceries right into the cart like normal. And then at the end, all of a sudden, she's pulling the cart out for us. And that's what
taking it to our car.
that's what this place does. So every United grocery store we've been to, they take your groceries out to your car, and then they help you put your groceries into your car. They don't expect a tip. It's just
Right.
their job.
It's just unusual. We haven't seen that in
Never
years.
saw that before. And they're all in great spirits and good moods and stuff like that.
Yep.
So that was kind of cool. So off to Muleshoe, NWR we go. Was it windy that day? God, what day hasn't it been windy?
I don't think it was really that windy that day. But when we got there, we went to the office because it's actually really our first National Wildlife Refuge we've gone to camp, I think.
I'm not 100% sure.
I can't remember, so maybe somebody else remembers.
Yeah.
But so it's good to check into the office just to talk to them and see what the place is about and where we can camp and just anything that they need to let us know.
Right.
So we could camp there, I think, at Muleshoe at least 7 days, and it was free to us because we have the America the Beautiful Pass. So that gets us in free after we pay the $70 to all the national parks and
National Wildlife Refuge. But there's
NRAs as well.
NRA. It's got to be pretty extensive. Like this, we're exploring the Kiowa grasslands. Does that cover that as well, or do you think?
Yes, I do.
So
I think
this
that it
pass, this is federal level, National Parks Pass that we bought for not too expensive.
It was $70 for the year, which really isn't.
It's a super
Yeah.
deal.
Especially for us that
Yeah.
are going. I
Yeah.
mean, if you're only going to one or two parks a year,
Yeah.
then it's probably not advantageous to buy it. But for us, it is.
But for the National Wildlife Refuge that we're at Muleshoe, what was the fee that we normally would have had to pay?
I think it was $4.
Would we have to pay that daily?
Yes,
So we stayed there
5 nights.
$20.
Right.
So there was $20 that we didn't have to pay because we had this pass. Now, they didn't have water at the time, but sometimes they do. I
don't think anymore.
not anymore, or
Not
is
at
it? So it's pretty permanent. Oh, we got neighbors coming in. How lovely. So we have no water. We only have bottled water. We have no electrics. We don't have a septic hookup, but we do have a vault toilet we can utilize.
Exactly.
And it was relatively clean. We had to provide our own toilet paper and whatnot. But the solar was working great on the trailer, so we were charging all our devices through the trailer because the batteries rejuvenated a lot quicker through the trailer than they did through the truck. But then the wind.
Yeah, the wind.
Yeah.
It was windy. I mean, every day it was just non-stop wind. And
Right.
I think the hardest part about the wind is the sound in my ears.
The roar.
Yeah, all the
Constant.
time.
Yeah. How you doing? Oliver
And
Legacy.
while we were at Muleshoe, 5 nights, we only had neighbors. Not really neighbors, but we had
One person and a couple came through in a van.
and they camped overnight one night or 2 nights.
I think they were only there one night. They came during the day, one night, stayed, and then they were gone the next
So we
day.
had the entire place to ourselves,
Yep.
which was
Pretty awesome. And it was far removed from the highway. You couldn't really hear any highway traffic. I don't remember. No trains, no planes,
right.
no
none of that.
automobiles.
The only problem I think that we had there, it wasn't really a problem. It's just there's no water.
Yeah.
You know, there's no water. at
Had
all
we
in
got
the lake.
right, Oh, in the lakes. So right. So this is an area of what they call, I believe, playa. So you have this low spot in the prairie that typically is made of different soils that when it's wet, initially all the water, like anywhere else, water comes rushing into the low spot whenever it rains, no matter how little it rains. And it fills up this low spot, and some of it seeps down through to the aquifer. But as it does, it swells the soils above and then finally seals its stuff, and then you get this resulting pond. Well, this pond, it's a salt pond basically, is on a migratory route, a big time migratory route. So when it is filled with water and all these shrimp start to hatch and the plant life comes back, etc., you get a lot of crane activity. Was it whooping or I forget the name, whichever was the red-headed one, whichever one that is. I'm not a huge birder, but I can't remember things half the time. So but while we were there,
It was dry.
it was so dry it looked like small salt flats, which I'm not really sure we were supposed to get down next to, but we did, and just to get a feel for it. And it was so bright, the light from off this, it was like snow blindness in the middle of summer. So we did take some hikes around though.
We did. I think we walked every day around there just to check things out, but not a lot for wildlife. But it was nice for us just to get back into nature.
Yep.
And not deal with people.
Yeah. I think we really needed it after the
After Albuquerque
house sit. We just needed to get our breath, do some soul searching, and it really was kind of cool that way.
Yeah.
It was quiet except when the wind howled.
Which was all the time.
Which was, a fair bit of the time. I think we're talking 20 to 30 mile an hour winds. And they're not like intermittent. It's just like sometimes it would just blow constantly, like for hours. You couldn't go outside without watching out for the door getting ripped out of your hand, or God forbid you put anything down that was somewhat light. The tripod would tip over, the chairs would get blown over, or something.
But it's windy here in Texas.
We did have one other guest all the time though, that we watched a lot.
Oh right, we had the Mexican ground squirrel.
Yeah.
Cute little guy. Only one, no, maybe a couple of them.
There were two.
But
we only saw one at a time usually, except for the one time we did see them chase each other. But he was like in the middle of the circle of the camp circle, which is like a giant lawn.
Cute little squirrel, but I think he reminds me more of a chipmunk than a squirrel.
Yeah, the cool little stripes and dots down their backs.
Yeah, very cute.
We left the camera out to take some pictures, and I hope I can get some snippets of that into here so you can see what they look like. They don't look like anything. We thought, not knowing what a prairie dog looked like at the time, we thought maybe it was something.
Right, we were wrong.
We don't know. We knew.
We're learning.
Knew. It's like strange. You can go into different areas and, be 58 years old and be like, wow, that's a mammal I've never seen before. Who are you?
Yeah, there's a lot.
Different.
Yeah, a lot of things we haven't seen, which is nice.
Right. So, but it was nice. But it's kind of interesting, though. We went back to the office, and I think I'm bringing this up now because of where we are right now, where we're not in Muleshoe. We go to the office.
There's never anybody there.
No, except for the one time we went there.
Yeah, we got there on a Tuesday. There was somebody in the office. Every time we went back to the office, from then till Friday,
working,
to ask questions, there's a note on the door, out in the field.
Out in the field.
Or, unlike here, we've been here twice.
Well, yeah.
And there's no note on the door is just locked.
What she's saying here being, we are currently filming from a place called Buffalo Lake National Wildlife Refuge, in Texas. It's about, I think it's southwest of Amarillo.
Yes, we're probably about 25 miles.
Yeah, 25 miles southwest of Amarillo. And in this area, there are only two national wildlife refuges. And one is Muleshoe, and the other one is Buffalo Lake, which I finally learned to not call Elephant Lake.
Yeah, took you a while.
Yeah. So we're actually going to do a video on that separately, but just to give you an idea. here at the National Wildlife Refuges that we go to, there's like a little headquarters building. And
Information center.
yeah,
Any kind of information, but we never seem to be able to get any information
because they're always closed.
So I'm not
They're
quite
always
sure
out
what that's
working
all
in the
about,
field. They're field workers.
I guess. We'll have to
Anyway,
investigate that.
right. So we ended up spending 5 days. Would that be 6 nights?
No, we spent 5 nights.
4 nights, 5 days.
5 nights.
No, you said
It
5
was
days.
really 5 days too, from the day we got there to the day we
Truthfully,
left.
truth be told.
And then
Off we went.
to Caprock Canyons.
State Park, which we're going to talk about on our next vlog number 17, coming up anytime I post it, which will, who knows when that'll be, when we'll have Wi-Fi again. Anyway, so stick around, and it might be in the list, might be next on your list as you're watching it, who knows. Until next time though, take care.